Oh, no stars and stripes. Sorry.
Excuse me, good sir. I'm looking for a gallant white steed with fire in its eyes and victory in its heart. I've lost mine. The wounds received in battle bestow honor. They do not take it away. The 7 soldiers of victory. There's 8 of you in the picture. Does everyone have amnesia on this show? We are talking DC StarGirl Season 1, Episode 11, Shining Knight. Coming in, of course, is the illustrious panel. Chae, the illustrious interrupter. Hi, Chae. How are you?
Hi, Tehran. I am well. Thank you for asking.
You had all this time to say something, but you were like, you know what, I'm going to say it right when we start. And, of course, Jeff is on the panel, twitching.
What's good?
And snitching. What's up, Jeff?
Hey, you hear what's going on in the bubble? I'll let you know after this.
I'm sure you will. And, of course, Alice is lost in Wonderland. Alice, how are you today?
I'm excellent, and I'd just like to shout out everyone that's joining us tonight. So hello to everyone in the chat. If you want to chat with us about StarGirl, make sure you guys just tell us whatever you want.
Yeah, I know. It's confusing. It's because this episode was one of those what's going on episodes, and we get lost in our own thoughts. Of course, I am Tehran, literally all across the board. I am Tehran. Make sure to find me, tell me all about all these things. And I want to give a special shout out to Alice for holding the group together and going through the motions to make sure that we can do this after show, even after the after show. So that's what we're doing right now, as we're talking DC StarGirl Season 1, Episode 11, Shining Knight. And we will be breaking down this episode as thus. Starman is not the father. Sam shows up. Father-daughter breakfast. We get that breakfast in the diner. It's the last hurrah. Lock it down. Yes, Courtney gives up her locket. Sam's lucky. Pat's busy. Ooh, 1-2 KO with the right hand. Get it, Pat. Coming in with the left. Justin, where Shining Knight needs his memory back. Brainwave gets his groove back. That's the guy that did get his memory back. Icicle checks his girlfriend's phone. Oh no. Basically, Icicle searches Barbara's search history and finds things he doesn't like. Staff doesn't want Courtney. Oh. Staff it was that Fresh Prince episode where why doesn't he want me, man? And of course, we have Family Fun Day as we get back with the staff. But kill them all, because Icicle did not like that search history bar. We do have a Stars and Stripes where we're going to break down something very interesting about the episode and give you the comic book reality of it. And some news and gossip, special predictions coming up, because our predictions have been spot on as we get into it. But before we start, I want to know everyone's overall thoughts on this episode. Alice, what did you think about this week's episode, DC StarGirl Season 1, Episode 11, Shining Knight?
Well, you know that I love the Knights because I'm like such a big fan of Arthur and Merlin and this whole like olden days and the Seven. So I love that this episode started with Justin and him searching for his mighty steed and kind of the development of his character, that we got to see a little bit more of who he was, and obviously throughout the whole episode. I also love that we kind of had these moments where it was like not everyone is born a hero, anyone can be a hero. So I really liked the episode as a whole, even though it wasn't like super action intensive, I really loved all the emotions we saw.
Love that so much. Jeff, what were your thoughts?
It was a really dramatic episode. It almost turned into a drama that with so much stuff going on, with Icicle being in his emotions, like not even believing that Barbara has gone against him in a way. Just the whole episode was very dramatic to me, but it was cool. It was just an episode. It wasn't anything spectacular. I'm kind of interested to see where they're going to go with the Shining Knight because of him losing his memory. How is that going to come back? I thought they would need Brainwave Jr. for this reason. But yeah, other than that, it was just an okay episode for me.
Okay episode. Okay, Jeff. Chae, what were your thoughts?
Overall, like everybody's been saying, even though it wasn't so like any action basically at all, the emotional driven part of the story was actually really interested, especially when you have the dad show up and then you find out he is not who you thought he was or who you wanted him to be, and going through that emotional roller coaster that was. And it kind of broke my heart for Courtney, but I loved how everything transitioned. And come on, Pat, with that punch. That was all I needed in my life in that moment.
Interesting. I will say this. The reason why this episode came off a bit lackluster was because last week's episode was so amazing, so action-packed, and so informative that this week did seem extremely dramatic. The leaf falling down as Courtney sat on the porch. Oh no, boo-hoo. Guess what? Toxic masculinity. I don't want to feel feelings. So while we were watching this show, I did think that it was a bit slow. Nothing really happened. There was no actual action sequence. There was alluding to it, but even with Justin, who I really liked previously, this one came off a bit too much. Courtney's relationship in this buildup with the father, this came off, it was too much. Pat and Barbara being in on things, too much. Mike's confronting Pat. What did I do wrong? I learned it by watching you, Dad. I learned it by watching you. Too much. So we just had a lot of things that came off a bit dramatic. However, we are going into the last two episodes, which are supposed to be extremely revealing. So hopefully this is simply a bridge episode into that. Let's start off by discussing the main thing, which is Starman is not the father. We've seen Courtney bring up Starman and reference my father this and my father that. Pat at times has been more confrontational in regards. Starman is not your father. Stop saying this. And it became, I felt like it became less overall towards this buildup with Sam Curtis. Jeff, do you think that Courtney handled it horribly?
No, I don't think she handled it horribly. I mean, she thought her dad was a superhero. You couldn't tell her otherwise. Everybody told her otherwise, but you couldn't. No one could. And when you see this man that is not Starman and not even a real father, he's just a deadbeat dad that didn't want you, that wanted to take advantage of you, and you see that in your face. I mean, everything she did was realistic. It was calculated in the sense that, like, I would do that. Any normal person would do that because they need a release. They need to get away from the situation, especially at 15, 14, or 16 years old, however old she is.
I don't know. Chae, thoughts?
Totally realistic. I've had a similar situation with my birth father, whatever you want to, I call him sperm donor, whatever you want to do, in the sense that it's shocking. Like, this isn't who I pictured you to be or who I thought you were. And then you realize that the person you were, like, you've been so angry with the entire time and fighting against the entire time, even though they're the sweetest person in the world, is actually the person you really needed, who actually is a father. And you just were fighting against an image for so long that now it's shattered. I thought that was super realistic of how Courtney dealt with the situation.
Did you have a stepfather, Chae? Not to get really too personal.
I'm adopted.
So being adopted, did you feel that, did you also have that disassociation and thinking that your father of sorts was more, and then coming to this realization? Was it that difficult?
It was more of the fact that my sperm donor, actually, he made the effort at first. He seemed like he wanted to be a part of my life. He wanted to be what it means to be a father. But at that point, I was 17, 18. I'm going to college. All I need from you is money. Yeah. At that point, in that point in my life, I'm going to college. I need money for that type of things. So when you say you're going to help, but then you don't, that's like, okay, then I have to remember, so you had somebody else raise your child, and he did it wonderfully. It made me grateful for the lesson that I learned.
So hopefully Courtney will be nicer to Pat, is basically what I was getting at. I just want to make sure that Courtney is nicer to Pat. Alice?
Yeah, I mean...
Oh, and thank you for sharing, by the way, Chae. Alice?
Yes, Chae, thank you also. And I'm sorry that was your experience growing up also.
It's okay.
I guess as far as this goes, I think Courtney, I think she handled it really well. I mean, I think during that breakfast, she also, or not the breakfast, but when they're sitting on the steps and he asks for her necklace, she realizes in that moment that, like, oh, he's just here for money.
For the locket.
And that was really sad that she had to go through that. I also thought that she actually was a little bit too nice to him in like allowing him to take her to breakfast. But I also understand that she probably wanted some answers. So I think it was pretty realistic. And a lot of the people in the chat are also saying, you know, that she acted pretty realistically there, they think as well. But I love the interaction with Pat. And I know, Tehran, you were saying it was a little bit too much in a lot of areas, but I actually really liked that he was like so nice in that moment. And like I wrote in my notes, like, oh my gosh, what an amazing stepdad. So I really like that they had that kind of special moment.
You know, it's interesting. I appreciate everyone's thoughts. I also had a similar experience as Chae. When you find out, like when I remember when I realized that my father was not who I thought it was. You know, my father was this, it just wasn't what I thought. And I remember when I met my father, true, I lived with him my whole life and he was there, but I was always hoping Will Smith was my father. And it turns out, nope, the guy who lived with me and loved me was my dad the whole time. Like, bro, you couldn't have been worth $300 million? Like, Brad Pitt couldn't have adopted me. Like, now I'm stuck with you. I have to get you a Father's Day card the same way Jaden gets his father a Father's Day card. Like, that's not fair. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, you didn't do After Earth for me. You didn't do an After Earth. That's all I'm saying. So here we have this realization where Courtney steps in, and Courtney is now confronted with Sam, who is her biological father. Barbara contacts and brings into the picture, and she's not who she thought he would be. He was not a hero. He was not even close to Starman. He wasn't even necessarily a good guy. He's pretty much basically just a thug. Like he's just basically kind of a loser, just a scammer, just a user. And we see this coming off. I just felt like the buildup the expectation didn't hit. I wanted something more. It could have hit harder. We saw him try at the diner. It's like, oh, you want a strawberry pancake? I want a strawberry pancake. We'll both have that. And it was just to get this locket, which was a valuable antique piece of jewelry. So we see that characterization come off. And while I can do my best to empathize, I also think that this is the most mature Courtney I've seen throughout the whole show. Was this Courtney? The other Courtney we've seen before would have cried or screamed or yelled or become unnecessarily aggressive or confrontational. This Courtney simply gave up the locket like, you're no good here, just get out of my life. That was my take on the whole thing. I feel like there could have been more. But Sam shows up. What were your thoughts on Sam, Chae?
My thoughts?
Just in regards to Sam, just like who Sam was and what Sam is.
What Sam is, I feel so much respect more for Barbara for like how she like stood her ground in the situation, because even though you show up and I want to protect my child from you, there is a reason. Even though I did try to find you for her sake, it was only for her sake because I know who you are. Like in that moment, even when she told him, she's like, the only reason I looked for you for a year was for her. I didn't do it for me. I did it for her. So that, for me, that tells me everything I already needed to know about Sam as a person.
Yeah.
But Sam needs to get slapped or put in jail. Those
he
are
got
just
punched. He got punched. I don't know why he would have to go to jail, but he got punched.
I mean, maybe I'm hoping if he went to jail, he'd have a come to Jesus moment and realize how much he felt. But that's more of a dream than what I know would happen to a guy like that. So
something tells me he's been in and out of jail. It's interesting you thought more of Barbara. I thought, wow, Barbara, this is the caliber of guy you used to date. Jeff, what were your thoughts?
She was young.
First, with Barbara, she reached out to him and then was surprised that he came. I was thrown off about this whole interaction, why she was surprised, why he acted like there wasn't an email to initiate this. Like, Barbara wanted this. That's why Courtney's mad, because she called it out. You reached out to him. He's here. Now we have to deal with this. And for Sam, I'm kind of in an overarching, I'm really upset with his character because it seems like it's a one-off type of deal. We had to get in, hey, he's a bad guy. Hey, he's going out the picture. It seemed like a one episode type character. But the way they built up Courtney caring about her father, being the reason why she's being StarGirl and everything, I felt like they should make his character more important somehow, or make the storyline go longer. But yeah, I wasn't impressed by his character at all. If anything, he's evil. He's obviously a horrible father, but like he's just like doesn't care. Like, because there was multiple times he would lead his daughter on and be like, hey, what about coming out to California a couple times? You think about coming to visit me? And like saying, insinuating things, talking about the future. And then like he tells Pat, yeah, you won't see me again. Those are the type of things, like, you got to be really type of messed up to just be lying to your daughter's face, knowing that she wants to meet you and learn about you and everything. Just lie and then peace out.
Yeah, this was a Maury Povich show, that's for sure. Alice?
Yeah, it makes me wonder also, because obviously Sam says, you know, when he's talking to Barbara, oh, well, you never responded when I emailed you back. It's only been like, what, 24 or 48 hours since she originally sent the email. And he's like, so I came here from California to Nebraska. Like, was he hoping they were dead and he could steal the locket from their like dead finger? You know, I mean, he's a horrible guy. What he did to Courtney at the end, just even asking for the locket, I mean, was horrible. She's not 7. She obviously can read between his lines. So yeah, it's pretty disgusting. Like, that's the kind of person. And I also agree with you. It does seem like it's going to be a one-off. So I'm not sure. I mean, I guess it was necessary because now we know for sure that she's not Starman's daughter, but I don't see.
At least she knows for sure.
That's she knows for sure. Yeah.
Well, I do have to say this, that Jeff Stoltz, who's the actor who played Sam Curtis, we've seen him on Seventh Heaven. We've seen him on October Road. He's actually one of those guys you've seen everywhere. The Breakup, Unforgettable, right? You've just seen this guy around. Played it very, very well. I appreciated how it was played. He's a good-looking guy. He came in. He was kind of grungy and dingy and had the jacket, and that's what they played like, oh, look, he has a leather jacket. He's a bad guy because he's got a leather jacket. Timeline-wise, I actually felt the same way last week when it showed that Pat and Barbara just met 2 years prior. And it's like, no, give us more. I need more vested interest. I need the stakes to be higher. I need Sam to have been on his way to Courtney regardless. And this just happened to come at this time. So it looked like he utilized, like he came as soon as the email called. I needed more in terms of writing in this one. Script-wise, they could have done a better job of making me believe of why it was happening. But that was something that I feel like has been a problem throughout the season. We really enjoyed the show, but once we break it down to its individual characteristics or elements, we see a lot of loopholes. One of these loopholes, of course, happens at the father-daughter breakfast. We get this connection, and then Courtney gives up her locket. Do you think Courtney should have resisted more? Is that the Courtney you're used to, Jeff?
Nah. If anything, she should just threw it on the ground and walked away. That's the. I would have been like, you know what? That's my StarGirl. That's what I would.
She would have done. That's what Courtney would have done if Pat had asked for the locket to save the city.
Yeah,
fine, Pat.
We need this. This is everything good. No, Pat, I'm not doing it. But if the homeboy from down the street that says he's your dad, just take it. No, I wish she would have been a little bit more angry about it. Showed a little bit kind of attitude, because you know he's a deadbeat. You know he's leaving. He knows that, you know, because like no one's being played here. So that whole situation, I wish she would have kind of gave him a little bit more attitude. But hey, Pat did it for her.
Pat did do it for her. Alice, what were your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I was hoping that she was going to resist a little more, but I also think she obviously saw the play like right up front when he asked for it, and so I think internally she was probably like, I don't want to have anything to do with this locket because this deadbeat is the one that gave it to me, and I was holding on to it with these emotions of love and things like that. And it obviously doesn't mean that anymore. So I'm glad she gave it away.
Yeah, and there was a discrepancy between the lockets. Of course, Sam's was all dungy and dirty, and Courtney's was all perfectly clean and well kept. Chae, what were your thoughts?
Or how I thought it was very, like, I actually agree with Alice. I agree with Alice in the sense that at that moment, it wasn't so much the fact that she gave it away so willingly. She gave away the locket as a way to say goodbye to a lost dream. It was more that, like, like you said, as soon as he said that, like, you already knew the play. You knew what he wanted at the end. That's all he came back for. He didn't come back for me. He came before a locket to sell for some money. That's how much I meant to him. And if that is what this locket is supposed to represent, you are more than welcome to take it back.
Yeah. That's what I should do to my dad. Like, here, just take it back. I want Will Smith. What's going on here? Let's discuss Pat being too busy. Pat and Sam get into an altercation, the closest thing we get to action in this episode. Pat punches Sam. Who wins in a fight, Sam or Pat? Truth. Chae.
Pat. And the reason, even though Sam would be dirty about it, Pat's been spending his life building things. He has muscles that, I mean, granted, like, we don't see a lot of him using it because he's in the stripe or whatever, but I think he got some moves that was surprised. And apparently he's been a sidekick for some years. So he learned enough moves to get by in life.
Jeff.
I'm going with Sam. He's from the street. Look, you could be a superhero. You could be a sidekick. You don't have any superpowers. You're going to get beat up in the street.
In the street. He is from the street. Alice.
Yeah, I want Pat to win, but I'm going to have to agree with Jeff on this one and say that Sam would win.
Yeah, it's because Pat walked off and did one of these. Like, oh, my hand. Like, he should have just punched him. Like, first of all, I was hoping there would actually be a fight. Second of all, he did this not to defend Courtney's honor and get the locket back, but because he said, I had Barbara when she was hot and you don't, and I had her and I used her and I just smashed. And he said, yeah, she was all on this junk. And so Pat finally, it hit his core, and he just punched the guy in the face for basically disrupting his honor, right? I think Sam wins in a fight in real, but Pat definitely got the better of it, and he got knocked out.
And in the chat, I just want to say in the chat, we have a couple Team Pats, and, well, mostly Team Pats. We've got Ken from Chicago says, Pat, Team Pat. We've got, sorry, I got to look up over at my screen here.
Well, you just want to show us your outfit. We love your outfit.
Guys, I'm wearing the sparkles because Courtney lost her sparkles. And then Kaios13212 says Sam's got the body, but Pat's got the skills. So that's awesome.
Sam's got the body, but Pat has the skills. We're going to go to Justin because I feel like the whole concept of the Shining Knight and needing his memory, I want to know what everyone thinks about the conceptual perception of Shining Knight, who he is, and how much of his memory he needs back. Let's start with Jeff.
I like the story of him. It's almost like you love the Starman, you love the father, the idea of the Shining Knight, of Justin being the leader and everything. But I feel like it just didn't hit for me. I don't know. Like, I was not expecting him not to know anything about his history. He seemed like he's supposed to be the leader, but he seemed like he was the most like vulnerable in this state. I just don't see how he's going to go from this part to somewhat of a mentor leader. Like, I need more interest. I don't know what I need from him. It's just like, I need better. Like, the idea of the Shining Knight I had and what I've got in this episode, I feel like it's just such a distinct difference. And the character needs to grow into what the Shining Knight is, or what Justin is said in the comics. Chae.
Alice, throw that out there.
Ooh, well, I love his character, and honestly, like, there were just a lot of moments in this episode where I just like felt so bad for him. I just like wanted to like hug him. But I also, this made me really interested in learning more about, you know, the seven soldiers of victory. And I did a little bit more research on them and learned a little bit more today on how they were the team after the original JSA. So interested to see how this develops in the last two episodes. But yeah, it was interesting that he had almost no memory, but obviously that ties into the Dragon King, and we learned about this epic fight and all this stuff. So I think it was a gateway to learn a lot more about the past, which is something we've been wanting to learn about, you know, throughout this whole season.
Chae.
Well, so I think Justin the Shining Knight is such a complex character, and the actor who plays it, like watching this character feel like he's having a mental breakdown nearly broke my heart, because obviously, at least in the comics, the way Shining Knight lost his memories was because of the Dragon King. So the fact that that is who he continues to see as he's in a way slowly coming back into his memories, it has to mean something, because obviously he kept fighting even after Starman and Stripesy left, because he said there was no one left to do it. It was like he felt it was up to him. And then obviously learning more about how Shining Knight even got here, if he's from Merlin and King Arthur territory. So I want what Jeff wants. I want a little bit more information, but I like in the sense of where the character is going and how he's getting there. Because the first step literally was getting to Pat. He did that. Now it's time to get the memories, and it's time to kick some Dragon King butt.
Let's do that. I do have a problem. Anytime someone says I have to say big butts, and again, not lie. Why is that a thing that happens in my mind? Dang you, rap music. So Shining Knight is played by Mark Ashworth, does a great job. We do see a lot of angst. I do think the storyline is being drug out. Like, I just don't like how we have multiple cases of amnesia. Amnesia as a storyline at once works. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. We have the same trope playing out. If this was the case, then maybe Brainwave shouldn't have gotten amnesia after the concussion and just didn't wake up or something. I just feel like it's the same trope being drug out and dragged out, and I just don't like it as much, especially because it's like Justin has every memory but his memories. Like he understands, and but I do like how they played up to the Don Quixote aspect in the beginning, as you saw with the windmill on the land, where he's basically trying to find this steed, this magical steed that he has in the comic books, and I think this is going to be something that plays later. I'm not a fan of the storyline as much because it's being dragged out. I liked it more when Justin was hiding, not that Justin had memory loss. I liked it more when he was hiding and he was maybe undercover. I understand that it's a throwback to the comic book itself. I just don't think they're playing it up to its full potential. Also, white guy with the sword walks around the town, no one arrests him. Black guy at a stop sign gets killed by the cops. Okay, too woke. Let's get into the next conversation. Let's talk.
Not even sword on the street. He had a sword in a school.
Yeah. He just has a sword. He just literally has a sword. And he's like attacking kids. Like, and Pat's like, wait, we can figure this out. How about run? How about let's move? How about we talk to him from way over here? Brainwave gets his groove back. So here's the other guy with amnesia, but he gets it all back. After coming off of killing his own son? Is that what happened? Did he kill his own son? Oh, no. He killed his wife and son. He just did it about 15 years apart or 12 years apart. Alice, what did you think about Brainwave getting that groove back?
I mean, it's crazy that he has like no care in the world about his wife or his son. And it's just like, collateral damage, I don't care. Let's kill everyone. So I almost want him to, I guess my hope, maybe this is a prediction, I should save it, but I hope that they connect him to Dragon King's, brain altering machine again and roll him back to nice Brainwave if they don't end up killing him again.
Jeff.
Yeah, I'm so on the fence about it still. I mean, just the whole episodes in a sense, but I just want to go with what Alice was saying. Just, but yeah, I kind of not. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I forgot what the question was.
The question is specifically in regards to Brainwave getting his back.
We all just had our memories wiped. So
yes, I was gonna say I was listening to the last part of what Alice was saying, and I totally forgot. But either way, Brainwave. I appreciate you telling me the question again. But yeah, Brainwave. I actually really like him, which is crazy because he's drastically different than Icicle, and that's why I like him. We were talking about how Icicle's humanized. Brainwave, he's not really humanized anymore. He's killing his wife. He's killing his daughter or his son. Like there is no human side to him. He's just evil, and I like that because you don't need to know anything else. He's just evil. He wants what he wants done, and he wants it done now. And he's kind of like a pseudo leader, or just like a, yo, Icicle, if you gonna lead. If not, I'm gonna do it.
Sure. Why was Brainwave? If someone could just recap for me shortly, how was Brainwave in a coma again? What happened?
The staff made him have amnesia during the fight with Courtney.
Oh yeah, the staff, the stupid staff gave him amnesia. But then when the staff showed up at the hospital, he was fine. Wasn't afraid, didn't fight the staff. Interesting. Chae, what were your thoughts?
I'm still brokenhearted, literally, that he killed his son. I was so shocked, especially because we talked about it last week.
Are we really? Did we like Henry that much? I was kind of over Henry.
I grew to like Henry and what he could potentially have become.
Courtney's cousin? You mean Courtney's cousin?
You like the hope of him. Like, you like his potential.
There was hope, though. Like, there was
his potential, but not him.
He was Kwame Brown of the comic books.
There was hope for Henry Jr. There literally was. There was a way I would have felt like if he did not die, he would have joined the JSA, and I would have loved to have seen an actual battle between father and son when he actually had enough control over his powers.
He was the Matt Liner of the storyline. Okay, I'm sorry.
I know, but I feel like it was such an unfair killing in the sense that because he wasn't on a big enough level to fight against you, you already won. At least if he worked on his powers enough, I would have seen a fairer battle happen between father and son.
He obviously got offered like a Marvel TV show, and they had to just kill him off.
They had to kill him off. He was Emil Hirsch.
Personally, I feel like as much as he's dead, I have a feeling that it's a trick, and I'm kind of hoping that's the case. Because even though he claims that even though when Henry died, he absorbed his powers and now he can reach more people than they originally wanted with 6 states, you need 2 brains for that. So he could be considered dead, but I feel like it's more of they're using him or like he's on ice somewhere.
Yeah.
To be used later for that purpose.
No, I agree. I can see how it's a trick. You know, the funeral, we saw the rocks actually fall on his dead body. We saw this guy who killed his mother. Maybe it's a trick, Chae. Maybe. Or maybe you just really want your Brainwave prediction to come true.
I mean, I personally was during the whole entire time, obviously he was on screen. It was just like, damn, dude, you're so cold. You have no sympathy. This is like totally different, obviously, from when he first woke up. And there was softer.
We can talk about last week really quick. Why did Brainwave not leave? Like, they could have all made it through those bars and been out. So, I don't know. My whole thing is when it comes to Brainwave getting his groove back, he's coming back even, it feels like he's more evil than ever. Is that just me?
Yeah.
No,
it's not just you. He's just straight evil. There isn't.
I really think Dragon King did something that warped it even more.
Maybe, but I think he might be the instigator. I think Brainwave. So we saw before Icicle dealt with the other guy,
the wizard.
The wizard dealt with the wizard, and you saw it because he had second thoughts. I think Brainwave is the motivating factor. We actually see that conversation between Brainwave and Icicle, where he's like, "You don't want to kill them because of the mother." I killed my wife and my kid like it was Tuesday. Oh, it is Tuesday. That's why I did it. But you wouldn't kill because of the mother?
He's been evil.
The mom?
He's been evil. And the only reason I even thought he had a humanized side to him or human side to him is because he was nice to his son when he was trying to train his son. That was nice-ish. That was the only redeeming factor. Now that he's like, you're not learning fast enough, or you're not on my side, I'm just going to kill you. He is straight evil, and he's showing you that.
I would love for Chae's prediction to be right, that he saved his son and goes, what, did you really think I'd kill my own son? Ooh.
Well, we've got a lot of people in the chat that are thinking that he's going to come back to life, or at least hoping so.
Would you be upset if Brainwave makes it back, Chae?
If one more time?
Brainwave makes it back. Brainwave Jr.
Oh, will I be upset if Junior comes back?
Yeah.
No, I will be ecstatic.
Yeah, I wouldn't be upset.
Alice?
No, he'll come back. I mean, even the guys in the chat, they're like, everyone in the Arrowverse comes back. Come on.
If he comes back, I'll kill him myself. Let's talk Icicle, right?
Everybody comes back in the Arrowverse.
That's true. Icicle checks his girlfriend's phone. Icicle searches Barbara's search history. Man, checking that Barbara search history. So we see he seems a little weak in front of Brainwave. Icicle's like, okay, give me the search history. Give me the search history. And some unknown technician, probably outsourced. It's cheaper. Lets him into the computer, and he sees the StarGirl research. Chae, what do you think Icicle was feeling right then?
Betrayed.
Ooh, betrayed by the woman he was trying to get to cheat on her husband. Yeah, I can see that. You're a villain, Icicle.
In my mind, I was like, first of all, okay, if this is a real thing, if you delete your history, can somebody really find it again?
Chae seems a little too worried. Jeff, what were your thoughts? What were your thoughts? Hey, listen. Hey, Chae, you and me both, boo. You and me both. I'm going to jail if they search my search history too, boo. I am going to jail. You don't even want to know what I was looking up about goats the other day. Oh my gosh. Going to jail. Jeff.
It's always dangerous when you search goats. I don't know. I was like, huh?
I said Jeff's speechless.
Yeah, honestly. Now, Alice, you can go on that, because I agree with Chae. That's the thing, is like, I was literally trying to think of what I would say, but I agree with Chae on the.
Did you forget the question again, Jeff?
No,
I don't mind.
I actually agree with Chae. The first time I was like, no, I just was trying to remember the question. This time I actually just agree with Chae, and I was like, I'm not gonna try and continue the same thing.
Did Dragon King get to you?
Honestly,
you agree with Chae? You agree with Chae?
I know. It's wild.
If I would agree, next thing I'll agree with Chae.
Look, the Dragon King might have did a lot of things to us, because it's a wild day. It's a wild episode.
It is a wild day. Alice, what are your thoughts on
I'm just going to give everyone some advice. Don't ever use your work computer or phone to look up weird shit on the internet.
Hey, you know what? Like, that's the best advice ever.
But is that weird though? Like, in Barbara's mind, it's not even like, I mean, never mind. It's I was gonna say, like, when she's doing it, but like does she not have a phone? Did she not have a phone? I wouldn't look up. Like,
it was dumb because of the fact that I just told you that your boss was a big super villain, and then you went to work to try to discover about a man that you don't know.
Yeah, she literally went to work to like Google it.
Yeah.
Instead of doing it from the safety of your house.
Right. Do you not have a computer at home?
I don't know. I just feel like he all his actions are just led by emotions. Period. It's like almost like he's not even methodical about his endeavors anymore. It's like, oh, I'm mad, I'm gonna do this. Oh, I like Barbara, I'm gonna keep her alive. It's just like all emotions, not really thinking long term and for everybody. It's just like, what do I feel at this moment?
I actually agree with that. It does seem like he's lost his methodical attributes, which we've seen throughout the season. I mean, Barbara is Barbara, like, yeah, but is she worth giving up your life's ambition? I don't know. The staff doesn't want to work for Courtney. Same way Jeff wants to not remember any of the questions. Staff-wise, what did you think, Jeff? Let's start with you.
That was just confusing to me, honestly. Like, I don't know what the reason. I need more context to that situation because the staff and her relationship is so up and down. For like, just going back to when Pat talked to the staff and like, you need to protect her. I still have yet to see that situation evolve. I've yet to see the staff really evolve and grow in that sense. And I know we're talking about an object, whatever the word is, but yet an adamant, whatever the word is. But look, it has a character, it has a storyline, it's supposed to have character development, but it just doesn't seem like it's doing that right now. And I don't know what's the reasoning, because she knows she's not Starman's daughter, but she has faith in her own self now. So it's like, that should have been it. It should have lit up after she's like, or after she realized that she's okay being who she is and not Starman's daughter. So I was really surprised it never lit up at the end.
I don't know, Chae. I mean, it did light up eventually when the family came together and they did Family Fun Day with the staff. And it's like, I need you, both of you. And they go downstairs, and then for some reason the staff, was like, oh, okay, I care. Chae, what were your thoughts?
I mean, to think that obviously the staff is in an innate being, a celestial being.
It's not hard, isn't it?
It is not. Well, no, I'm not trying to say inanimate. I'm trying to say innate. So thank you very much. So obviously it's actually a being. Like, obviously it is an object, but it is something more. It has a legit own thought process of how it handles and deals with things. And even though we haven't seen it protect Courtney the way Pat, after that conversation, it tried to, until she had to be like, if we don't go right now, they could die. And that's when they got on the same page. It's about, sometimes they're always on separate pages, but it's time to get on the same one. You didn't believe in yourself. You lost faith in who you were when I first chose you. Because even when you picked me up the first time, you were so confident in yourself as a person and your skills. But now, just because of this person that came into your life, you've lost all that. And it's something I can't get back for you. You have to do it for yourself.
I don't mean to cut you off too much, but I feel like a lot of the context that you're saying, it might be valid, but the show is not giving us this. Like just to go back real quick, when he's like, hey, protect her. It was a quick instant when the staff was like, nah. And then it's like, okay, let's do it. So like, I needed more. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, I got you.
Alice.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't like that the staff was just like, never mind. I get it. Like, he was like, if you don't believe in yourself, I can't believe in you. And like, I'm not going to believe in you or work for you until you again.
Or maybe the staff was taking a nap. We don't know anything about this cosmic staff. The staff that sneaks into your room, the staff that goes to the hospital on its own. We don't know anything about this staff.
That's
maybe
true. I would like some more backstory.
Can I sleep? Sleep? It is 5 a.m. on my planet. Can I take a nap?
It was also a bit of, I honestly, I don't know how you guys feel about this, but that ending scene where they're all in the basement was a little bit much. I don't know. It was like they needed to break into some like choir music or something in that moment.
Well, maybe they would have. Maybe they would have if Mike was also there, but they were forgetting the one person in their family who feels super neglected, who even the show has been neglecting. So let's talk about Mike. Let's get some Mike facts out there, right? So Alice, what are your thoughts on Mike being like, what did I do wrong? Why don't you tell me everything? Is he valid or is he invalid?
I mean, poor Mike. He's always either getting ignored or yelled at because of Courtney, like by accident, basically. I feel bad for Mike. I mean, he's definitely got emotions. I don't know if he's 12 or 35, but, I think it was valid that he was upset. I don't know that that was the right moment, but they have to give him a sentence in every show, so...
He got a sentence. Best job in Hollywood. Jeff, what are your thoughts on Mike this episode?
I'm always team Mike. And just because he had that one line, I mean, I'm always going to be team Mike in this sense, because he's right. Before Courtney and before Barbara came, he was the only child. It was him and his dad. So to see it automatically just switch up, and we said they've been dating or married for all of 2 years. So it kind of switched up really quick. And now that they're all in here, everybody has a secret, but they're not telling me. I get that I'm young, but my sister ain't that much older than me. Everybody's telling the same secret. It's getting to a point where I'm like, Mike might switch up and be on the bad side. You know,
yeah.
Like he doesn't know what's wrong until it's wrong, and then he's gonna think it's right. So like he might be on the bad side because he doesn't know any better, or because out of spite. So we'll see.
Maybe Pat will kill his own son. Chae, what are your thoughts?
I feel bad for Mike. I truly, truly do. Especially when he said, like, what did I do wrong? That is classic. Like when everybody's keeping a secret and you're the youngest and you always just go out. I'm having a private conversation. Okay, so what did I do that am I not mature enough? Am I not smart enough? Why am I not being included? So I totally get where Mike is coming from. But at the same time, it ain't the time. Like, I know that sounds so very insensitive probably, but it also is not. Her dad that she ain't seen in 10 years just showed up. This is not the time.
It is not the time. And on top of that, bruh, you're 11 or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, you aren't told stuff when you're 9. You know what I'm saying? Parents just aren't telling you whatever they're talking about. Like, you've seen your parents be in a situation where they're having a conversation with one another. You know, what's going on? Go to your room. Like, it doesn't involve you, but it involves you not being in their business. So
in Mike's defense, every conversation, argument, and fight deals with teenagers. So like he should feel a certain way that he could be something, like he could be included. So I'm still Team Mike on that.
I have a question. Are you the middle child?
Nope, youngest.
Yeah, whatever. Either way, you feel exactly.
And my sister better tell me everything that's going on.
Exactly. I just felt like because you need so much attention. Let's talk Kill 'Em All. Of course, we end with Icicle wanting finally to kill them all because it wasn't happy with that search history. Remember, people, clear your search history and never trust it around loved ones or people who are interested in you. Let's get to Stars and Stripes, where this week we are going to talk about Samuel Curtis, a.k.a. Deadbeat Dad. Sam Curtis, of course, is the ex-husband. Yeah, right. We know it's a one-night stand of Barbara Duggan and the father of the teen, Courtney Whitmore. So the person who thinks Starman is her father finds out he's not. Sam actually in the comic book is a member of the Royal Flush Gang. That's the gang of people with the cards. However, Sam is a low-ranking member of them too. He never rises above the two of clubs. And actually in the comic book, Sam and Courtney get into a confrontation as she is stopping the Royal Flush Gang's robberies. So that's where we meet Sam in the comic book. So that's our Stars and Stripes, where we learn something about the real comic of JSA and, of course, StarGirl. Let's talk some news and gossip, shall we? Real quick, everyone, I want to know why you don't think that they added Sam, like why they ended Sam's storyline so quick. Like, why is that storyline so quick? I feel like there's more meat to that. Are we going to see Sam again?
I think we will, and only because he said something to Barbara when he came over to the house, like, you said you were back in Blue Valley, and there's only like one reason. Something must be really bad for you to be back in Blue Valley. So there's obviously some more history that we haven't learned there about why they were there in the first place and really who Barbara is. And obviously I think Sam might have some information on that. So I think we'll see him again.
Interesting. So we get one yes, we will see him again. Jeff?
I think we will in season 2, and I think it'll involve the gang that you were just talking about.
Oh, wow. That's an interesting prediction. And then Chae?
Yes, we definitely will see him again, because it didn't hit me until Alice said it. But if you somehow was able to get to Blue Valley within 24 hours, you also must have connection to Blue Valley in some way.
Interesting. I think that...
I mean, a plane ticket.
We're going to see Sam. We're going to see Sam. We saw him on a bus. I think we're going to see Sam back, but he's going to be working for the Injustice society, and that's where he's going to be a low-ranking member for money. He's going to do something that they asked him for cash, and I think he'll come back in. But I do think it'll be season 2. Getting into news and gossip, we have 2 pieces of news and gossip that I found very interesting this week. Number one is our friends at CBR sent us specifically the StarGirl concept art, which gives Dr. Midnight her feathered sidekick. So if you know anything about Dr. Midnight, you know that she has Hootie the Owl, and they draw Hootie, which we have not seen. So that might be a nod to something. And our other quick nod is specifically on from Bleeding Cool News, who say the GSA could use a Shining Knight right about now. There's an entire article on why we already should have received the Shining Knight, and I must say I agree. So we do need a Shining Knight right about now. We shall see. But as it is nighttime, we have come to an end. Let's get into some quick predictions. I want everyone to throw out one line of what they think is going to happen. Chae, you can go last. Let's start with Jeff.
Brainiac Jr. will be alive by the end of episode 13, and he's going to save the JSA.
You definitely just took Shay's prediction. Alice?
I think that some people's memories are going to get wiped before the JSA saves the day.
Ooh.
More people's memories?
Chae?
I think during the battle, Icicle will be Dunzo, and that's when Junior's son comes in because he has his own power.
Ooh.
Yeah, Brainwave.
We haven't seen him in a few episodes, actually.
Brainwave Jr. is dead. So let's talk about.
I'm talking about Cameron.
I know you're talking about Cameron, but I'm saying Brainwave Jr. is dead. Let's just say Brainwave Jr. is dead. My prediction is going to specifically be that Mike is going to be the one to save the day in some way and show that he deserved to have known the whole time that he's actually extremely technically sound and fixes Stripe or gets Stripe specifically out of a predicament because his father's been subliminally teaching him tech gear understanding for years and didn't realize how much of it he absorbed. But things that kids say, we'll find out next week as we watch the last 2 episodes of StarGirl. It's a 1 and 2 episoder for the finale. So we're going to go over it. Alice, where can people find you if you want to be found?
Well, you guys can obviously find me right here, and you can find me on Instagram at Alice's Adventures on Earth. I also just want to give a quick shout out to everyone that was in the chat tonight. I really enjoyed reading all of your comments, and keep it up and make sure you join us next week also.
I agree. And you can also find her at Ross buying sparkly shirts. Jeff, where can people find you?
Yeah, first off, remember, I'm on Twitch, so I'll see you guys there later tonight at Jeff Will Jr. on all the social media platforms.
What are you playing? What are you playing on Twitch later?
COD, Call of Duty.
Oh, yeah, COD. That's right. Chae, where can people find you?
You guys can find me at Real Chae Jones on Twitter and Instagram. And I'm so happy to talk about this with everybody in this panel, even Tehran.
I appreciate you, Chae, so much. And let you know, if I was Brainwave Jr., I would come back for you. And who am I? I am Tehran all across the board. That's IAMTEHRAN. Find me, follow me, tell your friends, spread the word. I appreciate each and every one of you. Until next week, StarGirl out. We still haven't gotten that down.
Everybody's information is in the description as well. So